It's the beer they really love. Well, welcome everybody. We'll take this in English. Is this okay? Who doesn't understand English? Which would be really interesting to say, yes, I don't understand. So we will have some questions and answers, of course. So for all of you that wants to ask a question, you can stand over there and you can form a line. If you want to ask questions, just form there. And I see that people want. Oh, okay, fair enough. So maybe over there. So we don't actually block rock sugar. So, welcome to Norway.
Thank you.
What do you think about our amenities?
Well, I've been to a few of these around Europe and in the States, and I've got to say your enthusiasm is overwhelming. It's wonderful. Great to see so many people that enjoy the show, and I'm really happy to be here. Wonderful.
So, the one question that everybody here is wondering, everybody, even him. Yeah. Do you like smoothie? No. Do you know when your character is gonna die?
Well, I don't know how many of you have read George R.R. Martin's books, right? Have you read all of them so far? Well, you guys will know. But yes, when you join the team, contractually, you know when your character is going to expire. And the thing is, on Game of Thrones, everybody gets it eventually. And Sean Bean got it really early. But I think that's one of the ways that Game of Thrones really works well, because it asks the audience to invest in a character, and then that character dies, and so you've got to look for someone else to follow that story. So it keeps the interest all the time. So it's a really good device that George uses. It would be wonderful to, I think we're going to do 8 seasons before we finish up. It was great to be there.
You met
Yes, I was with him the week before last in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Do you know if he hates his fans? Because everything I like is dying.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting because George has a huge fan base of people, and he adores his fans. He loves people that read Game of Thrones, and he attends a lot of conventions, and he's always very, very interested to meet anyone who enjoys his work. So if you ever see George, if he's ever around in this area, don't be afraid to go up and talk to him, because he really does appreciate people that read his books.
You're filming in Iceland.
Yeah.
Is it cold?
It's so cold. This is like summer. But the great thing is, Iceland, they choose Iceland because beyond the walls of that terrible wasteland, when they went up and did a recce around Iceland, they knew that it was just perfect for it, because it's such a surreal landscape. The snow and the ice and the barrenness of it all, but it's got volcanoes, it's got smoke, and geysers going off. So it was absolutely the perfect place, and it's worked out wonderfully well for us. It's some fantastic building there.
Well, we can open for the first question. With a really, really, really tall microphone. I see.
Hi.
You can help her just take down the microphone. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Lady Morgana, all the way
From?
All the way from Camelot.
Ah.
My question is that we all know. Which part did you enjoy playing the most? The part in Game of Thrones or Merlin? Which one do you play? Do you enjoy playing most?
Yeah. I really enjoyed watching Merlin. It was great fun because one of the things about playing a really horrible character is that you get all the best lines, you know. You really do, and you get a great way to die. You know, being eaten by some horrible giant slug is a great way to go. And so playing bad guys is always a lot of fun to be in. I love Lord Mormont in Game of Thrones. I think he's a lovely character. You know, he's one of the few characters in the whole show that's actually a decent guy. You know, he just goes out there and tries to protect the people and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I think for fun maybe Merlin, but playing a really decent fella, I love Lord Mormont. It's great.
And nothing for the VIP. You want coffee?
Wine. Thank you.
With 2 sugars. Leprechaun, where the service matters. But just because you're talking about awful characters.
Yeah.
Maybe most people, well, everybody hates one particular character in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
An awful kid. That's it. I always wonder, how is it in real life?
Well, you know, the funny thing is, because the storylines are so diverse, we filmed in Morocco, we filmed in Iceland, we filmed in Ireland, and we filmed in Croatia. So we all, you only really meet the people that you're involved with, you know. So, like, we were at the premiere of the 3rd season of Game of Thrones in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago, and I met people that I'd never met before who've been on the show as long as I have, you know. So I know he's a horrible character. He seems a really nice guy. You can tell. I don't know.
But you do enjoy saying, if you see your IMDb CV,
Yeah.
it's mostly fantasy.
A lot of that, yeah. It's, you know, film producers don't have much of an imagination. And once you start to play in a certain genre of film, it tends to happen that you are asked to go and do that again. You know. But I sort of like that genre, so I've really enjoyed playing those parts.
So, next question. You just need to fix something. You know.
Read the Game of Thrones books too, so I'm just wondering, who do you hope will end up winning the Game of Thrones?
Well, you see, I've read the books. I deliberately didn't read the books because one of the problems about if you read all the books,
Give me the other one.
you presuppose the story, which might well be different to what is written in the book, and the producers and the directors may wish to go in another direction, and then you get that character that was in the book in your head. So, as an actor, I think it's always best to stick to the script that you're actually going to be filming, and then once you're finished, you can read the books and enjoy them just as a piece of literature. So I didn't read the books, but obviously I want Jon Snow to because he's my boy.
When you are playing, like, you see like the white wall
Yeah.
If you don't have, if you haven't read the books, well, everybody here has seen the first episode.
Nope.
Yeah, the White Walkers are the white guys. The bluish white guys, not the
Jag har
other
ikke
white
sett
guys.
eller lest noe av Game of Thrones.
Do you see them, or is it something like?
Jeg har ikke noe å gjøre når jeg spiller, så jeg sitter og ser på det.
Yeah, it's funny because
Vi er
in my
Loki-barn.
career, you know, when I first started, I've obviously done this thing is CGI. Now, so much is CGI, and it's so easy to do. It's actually becoming cheaper to CGI in a movie than to build something, which is really interesting. So, White Walkers are usually a 10-to-1 and they say it's that high, so you're going to claim to that, you know. And then they do all the work in the
Do you ever feel like strange when a person just waves tennis ball and says, "Ooh, look at the tennis ball"?
Yeah.
How is that correct?
The first time that happened was on the line of and CGI was just coming into its own then, and I did the whole scene to Tim Tennis Balls. The children were real, but everything else was still technical.
Hvor faen ble fredagen av?
So I worked with a lot of really cool actors, so it wasn't hard.
Så ble jeg bare borte.
Den ble borte i mange timer nå.
Jeg døde på hjørnet. Jeg ble kjipt.
Åja, det var på...
Nice question. Who's your favorite character except yourself?
Og så bare...
Oh, I
snakket vi jo
think
sammen. Jeg har ikke spist det. Jeg har ikke spist det.
the very first scene I did was with Peter in Belfast back in the wall. And we got another spot together. And I'm here to tell you he's one of the nicest guys you could meet. And a wonderful actor. And he's done so much for people of diminished stature. He's made people realise that you can be a terrific actor and be a little guy. You know, he's done a lot for people, and he's a joy to work with. So he's my favourite, absolutely.
After this, I really wanted you to say drop it and just look at the reaction. Well, we can take one question more. What?
Hi, how are you?
John.
Hi, John.
I'm wondering, do you actually follow the TV series at all?
Nei, jeg så tom.
Do I watch it?
Og så var Link bare som...
I find it very difficult to watch myself. A lot of actors feel that way. A lot of my friends feel that way about watching me. So I usually leave it for a while and let it become a piece of entertainment before I watch it. So I've seen a bit of the first season, but I'll give it a couple of years and then watch it. You know, but when you're close to it, you don't really appreciate it because you're looking at production values and direction and all that. And so you can't really enjoy it just as an ordinary viewer. But I will in the future. Yeah. Great question, Joe. Thank you.
Well, do you ever, when you see the episodes, do you actually think, I really would like to do this differently, or like sat there, or...
Var det bra med deg?
Most of my performances, I feel I'd like to do it again. It's very hard to be objective about acting, you know. It's very odd looking at yourself playing another character. I don't think it ever really works for you. You know, you just have to do it and then hope that people enjoy it, you know. But difficult to watch yourself.
Next question from Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Hi.
Hi,
You call me Teddy. A couple of months back, I bought A Feast of Ice and Fire, the official Game of Thrones cookbook.
oh, yeah.
have you ever tried any other recipe? Do they actually serve the real recipe on the set?
Right, okay. I learned very early on in my career
Jeg er litt opptatt, ja.
that you should never eat food on set.
Ikke smør.
One, because you do it several times and you might have to end up eating an awful lot more than you intended to eat. And also you do it over several days, so sometimes the food is getting a bit ripe. And also, on Game of Thrones, it's usually a treat for the spit, just going round and round. It's not very appetizing. And although it looks great, it's best to wait till lunchtime and go to Caravan and have some nice food. But don't eat the food on the set.
But I do recommend you to actually look up those recipes, because many of the recipes from the wall are actually pretty decent. I tried them. I recommend you to actually try some of those recipes.
Oh right, okay. Are they good?
Yeah, they are separated from north of the wall, separated from the places they are trade. And the wall meals are actually pretty decent.
Oh excellent, right, I will do. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nice.
For example, the cookbook. I was really surprised that it existed.
Yeah, I didn't realise they had a cookbook, but you know, HBO are a great company to work for, and they really know how to market the show, which is great. And I think that's good because it means that they can put more money into more shows and have great production values, which they have. So, and I think it's great for the fans to get stuff that they enjoy. Yeah.
Also, if you really like the spinning old food, we have some kebab shops right
It's
here.
okay, I'll pass.
That's food that's been there for quite some time. Next question, please.
Hi, my name is Katrina. And my question is, if you personally would be going beyond the wall, what would be the one item you'd bring?
Beyond the wall.
Yeah.
Well, apart from a fast horse to get back, and we've got plenty of those, I think if I had my choice, it would be 21st century outdoor gear. Because I'm here to tell you that chainmail and fur and leather is not warm at all. And I used to look enviously at all the crew were dressed in wonderfully warm stuff, they didn't mind it at all. And they were standing there shivering like that, trying to look heroic, which sometimes didn't work very well.
Because when I saw Beyond the Wall, I thought, oh, look, it's outside of Oslo. Why don't you actually sell it in Norway?
Why?
We have the cold all the time.
Yeah, I think it's pure, you know, and they wanted that sort of volcanic nature to the land, you know. I think Norway is stunningly beautiful country, but we didn't really want a stunningly beautiful country. We wanted something that was otherworldly, you know, where the White Walkers and all those horrible things out there, you could imagine that they would actually exist in that land, and Iceland was the place.
And then you should come there in the winter, because then you see white walkers everywhere. Next question, please. And please try to talk directly into the microphone.
Yes. Hello, Patrice here. I wonder, what's your personal opinion about Lord Commander Jan Mormont?
Your personal opinion about Lord Mormont?
Oh, right. Yeah, as I say, you know, he's one of the few characters in the books who actually has real integrity about him, you know. And when I first read the breakdown of the character, he really, really appealed, you know. And to have that to be in command of that army who are dedicated to preserving the security of the kingdom. It was a really wonderful character to play, and the piece that I read for the producers was a lovely speech. So I've got a lot of time for more moments, you know, and he's a heroic guy. I like him. Thank you.
Do you think that you're say, oh, I don't want this anymore, I'm cold, I'm eating the same food every day?
I think, you know, Mormon himself is so dedicated to that army and that way of life, you know, that he was he would and may die before he give that away.
You see, don't get in, don't like hard criticisms. Next question.
Hello, Mr. Cosmo.
Hi.
First of all, 2 weeks ago I had a panel with Finn Jones in Romania. I'm sure you know Finn Jones?
Yeah?
Yeah, he sends his regards.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, by the way, hi, I'm Johan. I'm from North, not Winterfell, but something equally cold.
Right.
Cold is like minus 53. So yeah, I know how it is. Really. Okay, the question: if you could play any other character in Game of Thrones, who would it be? Also, do you like cookies?
I think Charles Dance's character. I'm a good friend of Charles, and I think he plays his character wonderfully well. And I think he and Peter Dinklage has a terrific run. But you know, there's so many good characters. It's really, really hard. Maybe it's just the King, Robert.
Yeah, Finn Jones said that. I hope he doesn't say Sir Lawrence Tyrell. Well, thank you.
Do you know the main Lannister was doing the thing if everybody remembers that? Did he do it for real? Did they fill it
they brought several deer in with a guy that does it professionally, and Charles learned to do it. He's very proud of being able to do it.
Several. He had to do it several times.
He practiced quite a lot, but he was very proud of it. And dubious.
Well, he should come to know what he left here too. Next question.
Hi, my name is Catherine. Huge fan of Game of Thrones. Just
Oh, great.
I'm from all the way up north in Norway. It's not Winterfell, the wall, I know that, but it's pretty close. I actually have one question. I know I'm a girl, but I really wonder if I can do the Oath of the Night's Watch in front of you.
I think if you're up with us spending months and months in the cold with a lot of men that haven't seen a girl in a long, long time, if you're brave enough, I think we can take you. I couldn't remember the oath.
I remember it.
She can remember.
I remember it.
What do we think? There you go.
Okay, you come up here and you can say the oath to me. I'm brave as this. Okay, go.
Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife or husband, hold no lands, and certainly not father and children. I shall wear no crown, and and win no glory. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher of the walls. I am the fire that burns against the cold. The light that brings the dawn. The horn that wakes the sleepers. The shield that guards the realm of man. I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch, from this night and all nights to come.
That's our first official and only female Night's Watch. Well, next question.
Hi, the name is Richard, and I'm wondering what character would you not want to play in the Game of Thrones?
I think poor Jon Snow is an awful time of it. He's got so much ambition, and he's got so much to learn, and it doesn't seem as if he's getting much help from anyone. But I think he's such a strong character that he's going to come through towards the end. But he's having, and especially in this season, he's having a really tough time. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Catherine.
Hi.
In the third season of Sons of Anarchy, you played Father Kellan Ashby.
Yes.
And I was wondering, how was it to work with Kurt Sutter?
It's Kurt's really interesting guy. You know, he and another guy put the show together, and he has a very he controls it quite carefully. You know, it's his baby, and it was great fun to work on because it's a cable show, so it has to be done pretty quickly. And the budgets aren't as big as some of the network shows, but you have a great time on it, and I love doing it. The only downside of my character was when they said they wanted me to do a season of Sons of Anarchy, I thought I was going to get a Harley Davidson, you know? Like everyone else got a Harley Davidson. I was playing a priest. So I guess they should have given me a second-hand Prius. But it was great fun anyway. Great show. Thank you.
How did you start, how did you end up in that series? Because that's pretty far from Narnia and Merlin and
Yeah, I just met the casting director for it, and when the Irish storyline came up, they asked me to come on board, and it was, I don't know if anyone's seen Sons of Anarchy over here, but it was a terrific character to play, really dark and complex, which for an actor is always, it's a lot of fun to play people like that, you know, multifaceted, you know, a good man who's doing dreadful things. As an actor, that's all, you feel very fulfilled playing that sort of character.
Well, when did you decide to become an actor?
When I discovered I couldn't do anything else.
Next question.
Hi.
My name is Rita, and I'm wondering, of all the movies you've seen in your life, which one of them is your favorite and why?
Which film?
What is your favorite movie, like ever?
That I've been in, or any movie?
That you've seen.
That I've been in?
No, that you've seen.
Which you've seen?
You watched.
That I've seen. Because I've been in the film industry for about 40 plus years now, I've seen a lot of movies, and I'm a great fan of earlier films. because I think when Hollywood in the 40s and 50s, I think they made some great movies there. They had huge talent. And because they didn't have the ability to have so much CGI and to make it so visually stunning, that they concentrated a great deal more on storyline, on performance, and atmospheric filming in black and white. And so I'm very, very keen on the sort of film noir period in Hollywood. You know, the old Raymond Chandler films and things like that. But personally, I think films like To Kill a Mockingbird is probably my favourite film, because it's a tremendously moving film, it's an important film. So those sort of movies, those sort of benchmark movies, I think, although we still produce wonderful films that people enjoy, I think sometimes we've lost a bit of the genuine creativity that was around in the 40s and 50s. Thank you.
I want to just follow up on a thing. What's the worst movie you've ever played where you just thought, why am I playing this?
Oh, why am I playing this?
No.
Oh, that's easy, that's easy. I did a film called Braveheart. As Hollywood is, they're very, they have little imagination, and they think that if you've been in a big movie that's been successful, if they take you and put you in another movie, that will be successful. This is not the case. So I remember I'd been in Braveheart, then they said, we'd love you to be in Emma, the Jane Austen film, which is very, very different. And I remember coming out of my caravan one morning, and my caravan faced Ewan McGregor's caravan. He was playing my son in it. And we both, this is about 7 o'clock in the morning, we both came out of our caravan at the same time, wearing tights and nothing else. And we looked at each other, and there was an unspoken conversation. Exactly that. What am I doing? And that carried on throughout the whole film. And it was with great relief that I said goodbye to all of them.
Next question.
So I was wondering, how do you prepare to play such a character as you do in Game of Thrones?
Right, specifically Game of Thrones or any character?
And actually, he's like a hard ass, and you seem like a pretty nice guy. So
yeah, it's preparing to play a part as an actor. You try to get inside the skin of whoever you're portraying, and it can be, you know, it can be a highly complex procedure to try and find to discover the psyche of that person, where he's coming from, you know. And many actors use different methods of finding their way into the character. Some people, it comes from the costume. That they don't feel they can play the character until they dress like him and feel like him. It can be many, many routes into it. I like to do quite a lot of research and then historical research, try and find a character that's somewhat similar, read up more about him, try and discover the prime movers in his personality, what really activates him, and then just try and immerse yourself in it. And sometimes it works and it feels wonderful, and sometimes it doesn't, and that's not so good. But it's a really interesting process, and you can always tell when you've found that character. He just appears like someone else in your skin, and that's a really good feeling. It's like an artist doing a painting, and you just know it's good. It doesn't happen very often, but it's a good feeling.
thank you.
Thank you.
And now a small doctor.
Hi, young man.
I was just wondering if you liked the Doctor Who series.
Oh, Doctor Who, yeah. I've just finished a film with Sylvester McCoy. Who's a Doctor Who. He comes to lots of these, and he really is a great time. And you know, I remember I was nearly your age when I was hiding behind the couch watching the very first Doctor Who's with, what was his name? The first William Hartnell, that's right, the very first one. Thank you. But yes, I do. Thank you.
I do apologize, but I asked somebody to take a picture of me and you, and I have to write to Facebook with James Cosmo, ha ha ha.
Wow, it's a magnificent costume. Wow. Hi.
My name is Jim Richard.
Hi, Kim.
Well, I've seen you on Troy, and I liked it very much.
Good.
But the question is, when you, Jon Snow, and you split it, what was your quest? When you, Jon Snow, and you split it away on the wall or something.
Oh, right, when Jon Snow went off and we were left. Yeah. I think what's happened is, and that starts the third season, is that we have the Night Watch has gone out at the end of the second season. We're going out to face what's out there. We don't realise how awesome our enemy is, and as you saw in the first episode of the third season, the army is decimated. Very few of us left. Our main mission is to get back home, across the wall, and warn everyone in the kingdoms what's coming in this present season. So that's all we are doing, just trying to survive and trying to get back. That's what it is. Thank you.
My name is Kelly.
Hello, Ellie.
And I was just wondering if you were in a Game of Thrones and you had to choose an alliance with one of the noble families, which would it be?
Oh, I think Lord Mormont, of all people, has got one mission, and that's to protect the kingdoms. And I think even when he in the first season, when he told Jon that the king was dead and things, it was, he believes in the Iron Throne, and he is there to protect the kingdoms. He's a bit like a civil servant who takes no interest in the politics of things, but he just wants to protect the people of the kingdoms. That's his raison d'etre, his reason for being, is as a protector, and that's why I think he's such a cool character, because he doesn't have political aspirations. He doesn't want to be a king. He doesn't want to be a kingmaker. He just wants to make sure that that wall that stood for 2,000 years or something stays there and protects them from all the horrors that are out there. So it wouldn't really matter to him who was on the throne, as long as the kingdoms were run properly.
Wondering, what would he do if he met Joffrey? What would happen if Joffrey just had a meeting?
That would be interesting. It would be very interesting. I think there could be a severe clash of personalities.
Next question.
Hello.
I was wondering, because in Game of Thrones you have a lot of different characters and personalities, and I was wondering who you found the most interesting.
Oh, I think it's Peter Dinklage's character. I think it's really because he's a person of diminished stature, because he's a very complex character, and the way Peter has managed to bring that person to life, I think, is just extraordinary. And I love watching him. And I think, for me, he's the big star of the show. And yeah, he's my guy. He's the guy I would really support. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Costco.
Hi.
So it's been well established that you really like your own character, right? So, but what character would you like to see most have his head on a spike?
Don DeLong. That's a really difficult question. I don't know. I know what happens to Charles Dance's character, because Charles told me. And I think if that hadn't happened to him, I think that he would be the one. Yeah, Charles Dance, I think.
Thank you.
Does everybody know which character that is? What? Oh, God, I was...
Hello.
When you figured out the way you would die, were you disappointed? When you figured out the way you would die, were you disappointed by it?
Oh, when I die. when and if I die, please be assured that my death could be, will be, might be heroic. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And might I add, a person dying in Game of Thrones, that's not a spoiler. That's inevitable.
It is indeed, yeah. Oh, he has a Braveheart uniform. Looks like.
One with the rings.
Ah, right.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Great to be here.
I love your character in the Game of Thrones, but I'm here to ask you another question. How is it to play in a movie where Sean Bean died?
Oh.
I'm talking about the movie Troy.
Well, you know, I think...
I'm sorry, that's the wrong question. Okay. How was it to play in a movie where Sean Bean did not die?
Oh, right. Well, I think it was only right that if he killed me in Troy, then somebody chopped his head off again.
Okay, moving on my ear, which is essentially from the person there, that we have 10 minutes more.
Okay, yeah.
So we push it to 10-15 minutes, so, but you guys are the last questions.
Hello, my name is Emil.
Hi, Emil.
And I really liked you in Narnia.
Oh, yeah?
When you played Father Christmas, and I am asking, do you see the similarities between Father Christmas and Jorah Mormont, since they both are good characters in a way?
Absolutely, absolutely. Narnia was, although I just was in one scene of Narnia, I felt very privileged because it's a real honor to be allowed to enter children's imagination and to represent something very special in children's lives. And a very quick story, I was in the supermarket after Narnia came out, and I just had stubble, I didn't belong beer, and I was at the cheese counter looking at cheese, and a little girl came up, her mum must have been somewhere, and this was round about November, and she came up to me and she stood beside, and I could feel someone standing beside me. I looked round, and she was about 8 to 9, and she looked up at me and she said, in a very quiet voice, she said, "You're Father Christmas, aren't you?" And I whispered back, "Yes." And she went off, and that girl will live a life saying, "I'm sure I meant Father Christmas." But it was delightful.
Thank you, James Cosmo. Whenever I see you, I see you as Father Christmas.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, I'm kind of really nervous. I traveled across the entire country to be here today. So,
oh, fantastic. Well done.
My name's Dan, and I had a question, but somebody asked the same question, so I had to switch it over. But I really love your character. It's one of my favorites, actually. So I kind of have one smaller question and a proper question. First one is, I wonder, do you know the names of the keeps along the wall? The 3 different castles? The 3 populated castles?
No.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to correct you. I was reading a book yesterday, and your character is not 53, he's 63.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it was 63 or 64.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my...
I'm miscast, I'm very miscast.
Yeah, but my proper question was more like, how do you feel about... I'm quite sure you know what's happening between Jon Snow and your character.
Yeah.
How do you you know the last thing he said to the False King? No, spoiler alert, by the way. I won't say any details, but what do you feel about his views on it? If you know the quote,
Yeah, well,
where he
I
basically turns it around and makes sense to go against, not go against, but make sense of why he would disagree with the Night's Watch.
Yeah,
Because of the events in the forest, as he mentions.
Yeah,
What do you feel your character, what kind of relationship they have, and
in a way, although Jon Snow has gone off after seeing the events in the forest and sort of is disappointed with Mormont, shocked with Mormont's point of view. I think in a way Mormont understands Jon Snow's attitude towards him, and I think this is all part of Jon Snow developing to a much stronger character, and Mormont has had to play the cards as they have been dealt to him, but would accept that Jon Snow has not been dealt the same hand of cards. Jon Snow can go off and do something different because Jon Snow is a political character. He has an agenda, whereas Mormont has to balance dreadful things against less dreadful things, and has to choose to follow that. But I think he's very, very fond of Jon Snow. He has a real regard for him. One, because his son has gone, Mormont's son's gone, and Snow is what he would have liked his son to be, I think. Yeah. Yes, of course you can.
Next questions?
Hello.
I'm Martina, and right now I'm going totally out of character because she doesn't talk. But seeing as your character talks, I was wondering, Game of Thrones, do you have any favorite quotes from your own character? And if you do, can you recite them for us?
You know what, as an actor, when you learn stuff, because you're constantly learning new stuff, your brain works in a very funny way that you learn something, and this has happened many times with me. You learn something, you play it, and then if someone said, once they say, cut and print, it's done. If someone said, could you play that scene again? You can't, because you've done that bit and you're on to the next bit. Obviously you learn Shakespeare and different things as a young actor, but no, even some of the great lines, they just go because you're on to the next scene all the time playing something different, you know. But so I guess the answer is not really, no.
You never had read the script and thought, oh, that's a good quote.
You know, the only time that I'm really proud of something, we were making Braveheart with Mel Gibson, and we were filming in Scotland before we went to Ireland, and they were doing a scene where I was shot in the chest with an arrow, and someone had to pull the arrow out, and Mel said, if somebody pulled an arrow out of your chest, what would you say? And I said that, I'll wake you up in the morning, boy. And he said, man, that's the line. So when you see that film, remember, I wrote that line. Hi. Okay. That's okay.
You have also a small part in the movie Highlander.
Oh yes,
where
yeah.
you played Angus MacLeod.
That's right, yeah.
How was it to play against Christopher Lambert?
Yeah, it was interesting because that was the very first Highlander, and Russell Mulcahy, the director, he was Australian, and he had a background of making commercials, and I think this was his first movie. And the movie had tremendous pace to it, kept on moving all the time, and it was the first time that you had a historical film with fantasy, with rock music that jumped from one period to another. So it was very, very different, and it was a lot of fun to do. I always thought though it was a bit strange that Christopher Lambert came on saying, "My name is Conor MacLeod, I'm a Scotsman," and then Sean Connery came on and said, "Hello, my name is Don Jose Fernandez." I often thought maybe to get the scripts changed and they played the wrong character, but it was great fun. It's just a shame that they went on and made about 4 too many Highlander movies. Thank you.
Last 2 questions.
My name is Jenny.
Hi.
I have a rather different question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How was your experience with voice acting of Darksiders 2?
Can you say again?
Your experience with voice acting for the game Darksiders 2.
Voice acting for the game for Game of Thrones?
No, the Darksiders game.
Oh, Darksiders. Oh, right. I've done a few. I did the voice for Game of Thrones game, and Darksiders. Funny enough, I was just talking earlier on about Darksiders, which is a terrific game. It's very, very interesting because, as you know, video games are a bigger industry now than movies, and they're almost coming together now. And I remember shooting the trailer, which you've probably seen, for Darksiders 2 in Prague, and that was like working on a huge movie, but only for 2 days. You know, it was extraordinary. And the funny thing was that I did the voice for Darksiders 2 in 1 year, and then a year later, a different company asked me to come and play the priest on the trailer, and they didn't know that I'd done the voice for Darksiders. What a coincidence is that? So, you know, apart from building the game, I did everything in that show. Yes, great fun.
Last question.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Mina, and I wonder how it was to work with Colin Morgan and the rest of the Merlin crew.
On the Merlin,
yes.
Great fun. You know, Merlin, how long has Merlin been going now?
It ended at Christmas. It
Yeah.
ended 5 seasons.
Yeah. I think the show has been getting better and better and better. And it's really doing great business in America. They love it over there, you know. And they're very, very professional. They film it down in Wales, and they're getting. It's a very professional crew. And the great thing is they're getting wonderful production values out of what is a television crew, you know. But it's almost like feature film quality. And they've done very, very well. And they're a lovely bunch of guys. Really, really nice. You'd love them. Thank you.
Then, the last question. I'm from me. Because one of the persons who asked the question asked if you could do a line. And I would like to ask you the same, but a specific line. Could you say to all the people here who are probably ready with their cameras, winter's coming? So if you can just stand there and just... everybody, is all the mobile phones ready? It's incredible. incredible. You have all these mobile phones, but it's never ready when you need to. And can we have some dramatic light?
Okay. People of Norway,
Yeah.
prepare.
Wait. Are everybody ready? 3, 2, 1.
People of Norway, prepare. Winter is coming.
Yeah!